Expectation versus reality. I came to Thailand expecting a retreat where I would feel relaxed, I'd feel very zen, the yoga vibe. I knew it was physical because I had the itinerary. Is that what happened? Absolutely not. I feel like my entire boat has been rocked, and expecting to come back with clarity, focus and calm, the exact opposite happened. Instead, I ended up getting a bacterial infection, not just myself, but the entire group of people from all over the world ended up getting this bacteria where we were all violently sick. It actually started very early on, and like one by one it was like a dart was being thrown at all of us individually during the day, and by the Friday we were all very ill, like very ill. The realization, this actually wasn't a retreat, it was a mirror. Let me explain. Sometimes in life, being ill is what you need to slow down, what you need to reset. Let me know if you relate. Someone who's constantly on the go the whole time, doing the next thing, whether it's the next challenge, whether it's the next job promotion, whether it's the next fitness goal, fat loss goal, when it's the next planning your holiday, planning the next work event. It's always plan, go, go, go. And I said this before I came to the retreat, which was, I have no expectation, I'm just going to be present. Very quickly, like day 2, I was like, why am I feeling almost disappointed? Why am I almost feeling a little bit like I'm wanting more? And then I realized it's on me. It's the expectation I had before coming into this, because the itinerary said exactly what was going to happen, right? So why was I coming in expecting anything less? It was extremely physical. So we started our day off as yoga, which most of you know, yoga for me isn't physical, it's actually more of the mental relaxation. It really sets me up for the day. However, the really physically side of things was we did this, it was like a high rocks type HIIT class, which was a lot of running around, kettlebells, like strength exercises, quite dynamic movements, so much sweat happening. The heat here is a very different kind of heat. And then that was followed by a training session as a group, as a whole. There was 9 of us all together, and then it was back to fitness class in the evening. So day 2 was actually a Buddha run, and I'm going to share with you something really, really exciting at the end of this series. So let me know, or this episode. I'm going to share something with you at the end of this episode, so stay posted. But the second day we did a Buddha run, which if you're a runner, it's awesome. You start up quite a steep hill, inclination. The bends and everything are almost like a bit of a rest point because they just keep climbing. So basically the Buddha is at the top and you're running up this mountain in like a spiral type pattern going up. All the runners, which I'd say everyone on the retreat was a runner or had run or had some form of device to help them run. So a lot of people were like monitoring their run. They had like their apps on their phone, recognizing their pace. Do you want to know what I said? My one intention to get up this mountain was just to not stop running. That was it. I was like, I don't care if I'm almost walking on the spot or if I'm almost standing still on the spot. These feet are not stopping. That's the mentality, and that was the focus, the goal going up, and that is exactly what I did, is I just genuinely did not stop running. How did I do? So there was a guy that came in first, if you want to say that. He got 25 minutes from the bottom to the top. I came in second with 32 minutes, and I was really bloody proud of that because I knew when I got to the top, I'd pushed myself so much I was sick. Just there's something with me when it comes to running and pushing yourself so hard. Like I can do boxing or other HIIT classes and really push myself and not feel that sickness come up. When it comes to running, it's like an automatic response. I just want to be sick at the top. So I did, but I completed it and I was so happy. Now, when does this infection come in? We've all like journaled and we've all discussed between us thinking like, when did we all start to feel sick? And the guy who hosted the retreat was vegan. Nothing wrong with being a vegan. He ordered in Monday, Tuesday vegan food, which was lovely, like tofu Thai meals, almost like a pad Thai type, but it was obviously vegan. And I remember there was this 4 girls on the retreat and we all said, God, we feel really bloated after this meal. So we're all thinking it must be the rice, it must be something from the carb perspective, because that's often what us females do, right? When we feel bloated, is we blame the carbohydrates straight away. However, one of the girls was really ill, like coming out both ends. This was the Tuesday. And then on the Wednesday, we had a fitness class and then we were going to a spa. And en route to the spa in a van, so it was like this little bus that we called, that the driver was called Dennis, and we called him Dennis the Menace because honestly, his driving, bless him, like the Thai driving style is very much, it's not dangerous, but it's every man for himself, and it's a bit chaos if you're used to like very structured way of driving. Everyone in the UK stays in their lane, whereas here it's like you can just be crossing at whatever point, like you've got to be so observant. And we were all in the cab in the bus at one point, and we just hear this bang, and we're like, well, what did we hit? And he just hit a tree. He just kept driving. He was just like, okay, and just kept going. Yeah, so after that, en route to the spa, I was watching that sat nav, like counting down the minutes. Let me know if you resonate, but I was like 5 minutes. You know when time just seems to slow down, when you can feel like it's coming. You know when you're about to be sick, right? You feel this like, the saliva starts to accumulate in the bottom of the throat and you feel temperature rising and you're like, oh, but you're in a van, you're in a truck, so what do? Luckily, I was at the front. It was like subconsciously I knew this was gonna happen. I wasn't at the back. And it got to 3 minutes and I was like, I'm going. You know, you can't stop yourself when you're gonna be sick. I managed to just open up the window, the like little side window, and I was just sick outside. Oh, I was praying no one was gonna get sick, because as it happens, I was sick into the road. So there was traffic coming towards us, bikes everywhere, and I wasn't just sick once, not twice, but 3 times. Like projectile everywhere on the street. And because we were moving, thankfully, obviously did not see the people and no one screamed or anything. And I'm pretty sure I got the pavement. Still not the finest moment, still a little bit, I wasn't even embarrassed. It was just I had to go, and that was the only way to do it. And in a really change of perspective, it could have been worse. It could have obviously been in the van itself. Luckily, we were only 3 minutes away from the destination. So when we got there, I was like, oh, I just continued to be sick into the bush. But I recovered and I thought, okay, is this it? Did I just have food poisoning? Because I feel better. So I stayed a bit for the spa. And then like an hour later, there was nothing left in my stomach. I couldn't drink anything. I ended up getting a taxi home. I'm not someone who has FOMO. However, because of the lack of like clarity and expectation that I needed this answer to why I'm here, like why am I traveled halfway across the world to come here, I pushed myself to turn up to every coaching session. Obviously, I didn't do the physical things at all. However, I did do the coaching, and again, I was thinking to myself now on reflection, like, why did you do that? Why did you push yourself to go? And it's because I was so need to know this answer. And you know, these times in your life when you are going through something difficult and you're struggling to know where to go next or what to do, it's true what they say, right? The world and everything around you all becomes a mirror of what's happening inside of you. And I'm a coach, okay? We're all, like, if you're watching this, you might be a coach, or you might not be a coach. You might be a mother, you might be a daughter, you might be a grandmother. You know yourself. There's no magic pill, solution, question, statement, gesture that's going to change your entire life, or is there? But I was thinking to myself, why am I so focused on this guy giving me the answer that I needed? That I was putting so much pressure on myself that despite being violently ill, I was still not going to miss anything from the event. So it really got me thinking and really got me questioning, why am I doing this? Thankfully, I wasn't sick after or since that event at the car, at the bus. However, the clinic retreat itself finished 2 days later on the Friday. All of us were not in our best form. We're not in ourselves, if you want to say that. You know the biggest lesson I learned? And I wouldn't even say it was a lesson. It was a bit of a wake-up call to remember to just get out of your head. Just remember to surround yourself with like-minded people. And this is what's definitely resonated with me the most, was being around people that are in the same stage as you. And it doesn't matter what age, because there was people with us that were 26-year-olds. There were people that were 40s. There was a guy in his 60s. So broad range of age. But when people come together as a collective to grow as individuals, but you know what, also support each other, because the magic actually happened in the in-between conversations of the coaching as opposed to the coaching itself. That was the magic. The dinners together when the coaching technically wasn't happening. We went to an elephant sanctuary. Oh my God, we went to an elephant sanctuary. So the elephant sanctuary was, and this is probably a breakthrough moment if I really think about it and question myself there, this was probably my breakthrough moment. So we went to an elephant sanctuary and it was a freedom one. So they say freedom, they're not ridden, they don't use those hook things, which is good. However, they're still in an enclosed space, right? They can't wander free, which is what freedom means. However, all of these elephants were in the older part of their life cycle because they'd been rescued from centers that ride them. So there was this one elephant, she was in her 80s. What an incredible age. She was like the wise grandmother. There was a few in their 40s and then one of them in their 30s. So there were 4 all together. And a little bit, I'm not going to say ashamed, but you know, I wish I didn't do this. Watching back the videos, however, also when I was there, I quickly noticed what I was doing wrong, and what all of us was doing wrong was going straight into the elephant's space and touching them. I watched everyone, I did it myself. You think, why did you do that? I put my hand straight on the elephant's trunk, and every single one, whether it's me or someone else, moved away. The elephant moved away, and I thought, you know this, right? If you don't want someone to touch you, what do? You move away or you speak, because we have the ability to speak using our mouth. Obviously, animals use their bodies. Elephants have this amazing trunk. So I started a little experiment when I was there, which was go up to the elephant, like a meter distance, and just don't do anything. Physically, subconsciously in my body, I was saying, like, this is your space. If you want to come in, please do. I'd love to connect. But I'm not going to go in and touch you, because you know what? Be respectful of you. Be respectful of the person even though it's an animal next to me. Like, they deserve the same respect. So I don't even know how this happened. And this is the power of like timing, if you want, or that this was, I don't know, whatever you say, divinely intervened, where they actually caught this on camera. I do not know. One of the ladies, I went up to this elephant and again, did not touch them, didn't go in to touch them. I just kept my distance and I just waited. And I was just like, I was talking, but I was just like, it's your space. Like, I'd love to come into it. At the same time, you can come into mine. I invite you in. And it just felt so peaceful, so much more peaceful. And also didn't have this elephant moving away from you or moving its trunk from side to side when you go in. So I very respectfully did that. I was caught on camera. It was amazing. And at the event, the retreat, people were saying to me, like, you have a very interesting way with animals. You're quite unique in your approach. And I was thinking, oh, you're not the first person to have said that. And then I got into the spiral of thoughts, because a lot of the people that were there were saying to me, Nika, why don't you do more of this? Like, why don't you show and teach people how to do this? And I thought, yes, this has been something I've been trying to do for years. It's just making this all come into one area and platform would be the goal. So that really rocked my boat. And if you're sat there thinking, Nika, why has this rocked your boat? It's rocked my boat because of so many things. Let me know if you relate. When I was in my teens and early 20s, I watched my parents and watched people in their 30s and 40s, and I'd be like, yeah, I'll have everything sorted out when I'm that age, you know, a little bit of cockiness, maybe a little of arrogance, and do you know what? No, pure naivety. Naivety to think that everything just gets sorted when you're older. Definitely doesn't. And this is almost like the massive realization I've come to, where I'm like, nothing's going to change unless I do something about it. Nothing's going to actually change, or I'm not going to achieve what I want to achieve until I drastically change where I currently am. Because if you're happy where you currently are, you wouldn't be having these thoughts, or would you? We're getting a little bit, what's the word? We're getting deeper into the subconscious here. The bigger picture of why. The bigger picture of why. And in a roundabout way, this has led me on to what I'd love to share with you guys today, which is I've had a breakthrough of an idea that's come to me with animals, because I have this love of animals. I have this love of helping women embrace their true female side. Now, what does that mean, embrace your true feminine side? I mean, how many women struggle or have struggled since having a period to know what to do with it? For example, my period came at 18. I absolutely was so in the dark about it, even at 18, because I was obsessed with ponies, and that I had no idea. Then every month for, 28, so going up almost 20 years, I've had an extremely painful period. Debilitating pain, PCOS, 3 out of 4 symptoms, 3 out of 4 types, struggling every month. More women should know that this is not normal, but also more women should know that it doesn't mean taking a pill, because this is what I teach every single woman in True Self-Mastery, whether they still have a period, whether they are going through perimenopause, whether they are menopausal or post-menopause. Welcome to the golden years. And every single wonderful lady that I've worked with has genuinely said that these tools I've taught them will help them for the rest of their lives, but also their granddaughters or their daughters or their sisters or their mums. And that to me means the world. And I think to myself, I love that. And I also have this genuine passion and love for animals. So how do I combine them both? That's where I currently am. That's where I'm currently sitting on. Because I see and feel a space where women and animals, I'm talking about horses here, but obviously all animals, come together to heal, come together to learn, but also come together for self-acceptance and self-compassion. Because so many women, and it's probably the years of being put down, the years of not feeling good enough, or the years of being repressed, that we are coming together and being like, do you know what? This is enough. This is enough now. This has been my breakthrough. So today you're getting it live. You're getting it first. I am going to be doing a charity run I've called it Run with the Rescues. So I'm going to pick, with your help, a charity here in Thailand, and in the next 4 weeks I'm going to train my ass off to do that Buddha run again under 30 minutes. So I need to knock off 3 minutes, 3 whole minutes of pushing myself to the physical limit, plus, and they're going to finish it off with 100 burpees at the very top of the Buddha. And I'm going to do this all for charity. I'm going to raise awareness for rescues in Thailand, and I'm also going to inspire women, because I truly believe, ladies, that when you are feeling so stuck and overwhelmed, one way to get out of ourselves, to get out of our head, is to realize it's not about us and to do something for someone else or something else. In my example here, it's going to be for animals. When we realize that this life is much more bigger than us right here, a switch happens in us. Another level of willpower, motivation, inspiration takes over. And that version of you, to get there, requires a whole new set of habits. This is going to require me to have a really strict routine of morning routine, evening routine, self-care, resting, training bloody hard, eating right. All of this has to come together for me to be able to do that run again and then beat it the last time. And I pushed myself to the physical last time, like to the max. So this is going to be a real bloody challenge. And you guys, I'm going to keep you updated week by week. I'm also going to set up and have set up a Facebook group. So if you want to follow it and see exactly how I'm training, what I'm eating, it's all going to be in there as well. And just comment below and I can send you through the link. That's not a problem. To sum up the experience so far in Thailand, I've been reminded to let go of all expectations that I have, because whenever I have these even subconscious expectations, I'm let down and I'm the only one to blame, no one else. So release the expectations and act more in service to others to feel more fulfilled. Act more in service of others to feel more fulfilled, or just to feel fulfilled, is what I'm definitely learning. If you've never been to Thailand, I would really recommend it. I'm in the southern part of Thailand, so near Shillong, and it is absolutely incredible. I even want to say it's magical. It's so raw. Yes, there's houses. Yes, there's tourists. When you see the Thai people, the Thai culture are so loving, are so warming. It's a true reminder that we've almost become too obsessed with things to control it, to control what we eat, to control what we do, to control the outcome. And we forget to just connect. We forget to just be a human, to be a kind human, to be a humble human. And being here in Thailand, I'm definitely reminded of that every single day.